So look, most of the stuff that you see online is about how to get the front end sales for a dropshipping store, how to find a winning product, or how to do a bunch of this stuff, which is actually going to lead to you failing. Now, I've been in dropshipping for about 5 years now. I've made over 7 figures with dropshipping, and I've taught people how to make their own successful stores. But a mistake that I made at the start was not focusing on product quality, not focusing on the customer success, not focusing on the things that were actually important in the business in order to sustain the business. And if you don't do this, it doesn't matter how many creatives you test, how many winning products you can test, you just won't be successful because your payment processor won't like you. And so you won't be able to take the money that people are paying you, put that into your bank account and keep paying for your inventory, keep paying for your ads. You're going to have a cash flow problem. The way I look at it is like this. So if you imagine you sell a product, you make 100 orders. If you get one chargeback out of those 100 orders, then you are going to lose trust with your payment processor. They're going to hold at least 10, 15% of your funds. And in e-commerce, your margins are only 20%. Now, what this basically means, a chargeback, somebody calls up their bank. And if the product that you're advertising isn't what people are receiving, which by the way is very common because the Chinese factories, the suppliers, they like to source the cheapest possible products for what you ask. So say you ask for a product and you want to sell it for your brand. You make the brand look all great. But the product, when it comes to the customer's house, it doesn't actually look that good. Now, when that happens, the customer is going to think this is a scam because technically you have just scammed them. You've sent them something which isn't the same as what you sold online. Doesn't matter how much selling you do on the ad, it literally doesn't matter. And so they're going to call their bank, say this is a scam. Then the bank will automatically refund that customer, no matter what they tell them. If they're unhappy, they're going to refund the customer. The chargeback means that you get to respond to that chargeback. If the customer just opened the chargeback for no apparent reason, which is highly unlikely, by the way, there's usually some sort of problem in the works, then you can respond, you can get your money back from that because, you know, the bank holds your money, they take the money away. And if your case is fair, which the bank will look at, then they will just give you the money back and then they'll take the money back from the customer as well to put it back into your account. But Shopify doesn't care. Shopify is like the middleman. Now, when you're dropshipping, you're going to be using Shopify. Now, Shopify uses the banks, and the banks allow Shopify to use them. And so there are agreements with that. If you're getting a bunch of dropshippers on your platform, by the way, that's Shopify, which is true, and are doing black hat things, which is just illegal activity where they're not selling the product which they put out, because there's a very bad rep on dropshipping. If this happens, then of course the banks are going to say, look, we need to be very, very careful with who we let sell on our platform. And you are going to get blocked from using their processor if you sell crap, you sell cheap shit. Now, this happened to me. I had all of my funds taken from me, and it was over like 30 grand when I was just starting out in dropshipping. And it's because they saw me as high risk. I was selling, a pretty cheap product. They didn't think it was good quality. I mean, the customers, so then I got refunds, etc. Big learning curve. And it was a mistake which I made, which I have now learned from, which I'm trying to drill into you guys so you don't make the same mistake. Because I lost that money and then I had to pay suppliers and I couldn't ship anything out to my customers and it was just a mess. But it's because I didn't understand this. So if you understand this, getting into the model becomes a lot easier. And what I do now is very simple. I just treat it like it's an e-commerce business. I don't treat it like it's some gimmicky dropshipping store, which I just slap a product on. I don't even check what the quality is like. I just sell it for really cheap, £20, buy it for £3 because it's a big markup. So why not? And just sell whatever the bloody hell I can, or sell something really low quality. No, what I do instead is that I find a product which is actually high quality. So we have a private supplier in the program. And so I just say to my private supplier, I need to make sure this product is high quality. That's all I say. And then I just go based on, okay, how much is this product? How much are they sourcing this product for? And if it's pretty expensive, most people say they want the cheap stuff. I want the more expensive stuff from the Chinese suppliers. If I see that it's more expensive, I'm going to want to sell that product more so than the one that's cheaper. Because the likelihood is, from my experience, after seeing like 20 bloody product quotations, is that the quality on the higher priced ones are a lot better. And what I do is I sell that product, I price it way higher because it actually solves the customer's problem. And that's very important. So not only does it solve the customer's problem better because the actual quality of the product is better, but I also get higher average order value. So I get more money coming in from my customers. I get more revenue on the front end because I've priced my products higher because I can. I make my brand look premium, and then everything just flows together. And that's what makes it a lot more scalable. Imagine trying to scale that with this premium brand with a high quality product that actually fixes the problem that the customer has, and you can be very confident about that and talk about your unique mechanism. It has this, it has that to solve your specific problem, compared to some guy who just goes onto Claude and says, write me an ad script for this product that I found on AliExpress. If you take those two brands, the guy that's just fucking smacked a product on his website and is testing loads of like 20 products a day, compared to you who've actually studied the audience and made a brand out of it for a high quality product, you're going to succeed because the customers just trust you more. The customers will trust you more and they will resonate more. So you could say they have this problem, whatever it is that the problem is, offer this high quality product, and they're going to feel more inclined to buy that product because you can give more points to why your product is more unique to the rest that they've seen online, because the audiences are highly skeptical. So you need to make sure that you're addressing that. And so pricing higher, it's going to get you more profits. You can spend more on advertising, but it's also going to give your customers a better experience, which then leads to no chargebacks. No one is calling up their bank saying this isn't the product that I ordered, because it is the product and it actually does help them and they are happy with it. So they leave you positive reviews and they come back and they buy more. So it makes your brand just a lot more sustainable and a lot more solid. Start building real brands, and on the front end, you're going to see huge successes. You're going to see customers coming in and wanting to buy the product as long as you advertise it correctly. You need to know how to share that value. If you sell a high quality product at a high price point, you need to understand what the value is in that product in order to sell it. So selling this at a high price point, it's not going to work if you don't understand who you're selling to. And so this is what I mean. This is a lot of the fluff that is said about on YouTube, which is go and find a winning product from a winning spy tool and then just copy the same angle, the same ad, the same product all onto a new store. It's just a new ad account. Like, it's the exact same thing. And they're usually selling these cheap knockoff products, and it doesn't help the customer in any way. And it's just this chain effect. So what you need to do is find the problem which your customers are facing with the product, which is going to help them, and then do enough research into that audience to figure out exactly what their pain points are. What are their desires? What do they want? What have they experienced in the past? What have they tried? And then you use this information in your ads. You have to fully understand them and then translate that into your ads and into your website so that the customer actually trusts that this slightly more expensive product is going to actually help them compared to everything else that they've tried. And that's all down to research.